Okay. Morning, everyone. Welcome back to our live stream series. So just the normal thing that I used to do. So the first couple of minutes, I'm gonna be asking people to actually like this live stream and then share this live stream to whoever it is that you think will be benefiting from the information that we're sharing today. And the topic that we're gonna be speaking about today is gonna be Bales College and all the amazing things that Bales can offer to our students. So this live stream will be broadcasting from 8 pages. So the first one would be 012 Global, 012 VN, Naomi Official on Facebook and on YouTube. Naomi personal page on YouTube. And then there's a Vietnamese page called Scholarship, Study Abroad and Settlement in the UK. And then also another page called Consultancy on Scholarship for 012 Global. And so 012 Global is an international consultancy company located in London. And we work very closely with many universities in the UK and other English-speaking countries. And we have been helping students from all over the world in making their dream of studying abroad come true. We consult our students on their study options and help them find the university and courses that fit their needs and interests. We also help them prepare all the documents and guide them through the application process. But this is not where our service stops. We help our students through the complicated visa application process, as well as being a constant companion throughout their studies if they ever need any help. 012 Global was previously known as Guy and I, and our reputation lies in over a decade of experiences within the legal advice, accounting, mortgage, and especially education services. And this live event today is joined by Mr. Ben Moore. Ben, if I can get you to introduce yourself a little, that'd be great.
Thanks, Ivy. Yes, I'm Director of Admissions at Bales College, and I also look after the integration of the admissions process with the academic team and the development of our academic programme with Mr. Mark Yearsley, who's head of school, John Corkett, who's Director of Studies, and Dr. Jennifer Watkins, who's head of sixth form. So I look after admissions right from first receiving the application forms from international and domestic students, right through to the point that a student joins us either obviously domestically or from an international location, whether that be Vietnam or somewhere else. And I can help you and your students through that whole process. Bales College, we're a small school for 11 to 18-year-olds. We have a small number of 19-year-olds that finish the school just after turning 19. So we do British curriculum, Key Stage 3, Key Stage 4 and Key Stage 5. So that's GCSEs, that's around the age of 16, and A-levels, that's around the age of 18.
Okay, thank you for that introduction. I'll put you back. Okay, so because of the restricted length of time that we have for today, so we will try and answer questions on a first come, first served basis. So starting from question that we received even prior to the event. So with any question that we cannot answer today, we will send the message to all of you and call you after the live stream. So just another chance to repeat all the name of the pages that we're going to be live streaming from today. 012 Global, 012 VN, Naomi Nguyen official page on Facebook, and Naomi UK YouTube channel. A Vietnamese page on Facebook called Studying Abroad, Scholarship and Settlement in the UK. And then another page called 012 Global Consultancy for studying abroad and scholarship for the Vietnamese market. So apart from our regular online webinar like this, we have 5 different YouTube channels in 5 different languages. And up until this point, we have got over 500 videos on different topics. So if you do want to just pop over there in case you miss any of our live session, and do subscribe to our YouTube channel to get a notification as well. All right. So without further ado, we're gonna go straight into the first question. So Ben, we've got a question here from Eddie, and he is asking, why should we go and study abroad this year?
As opposed to, I'm not sure in terms of whether that's related to why study this year compared to previous years. I mean, I think from a school's perspective over here, things have returned pretty much to normal. So we're looking, the academic year this year coming in, schools are looking pretty much as they have done in previous years. We're obviously not a boarding school, but there might be some changes there for international students. But I think the process in terms of GCSEs and A-levels is going to return to normal pretty much next year for 2022 examinations. And Britain's obviously returning to normal post the last 18 months, obviously, of disruption from COVID with vaccinations over here. So it's a good time, I think, to come to the UK in comparison to other countries, perhaps. And there's plenty of opportunities both at schools now as London and Britain is opening up, but also post-school at universities with plenty of courses and options available for international students.
Thank you for that answer. And we're just going to move on to the next as well. We've got quite a few today. So thanks for your question. So we've got another one. Can I ask about the proportion of Vietnamese students and Thai students at Bales College?
So it really varies from year to year, but we are a traditional English day school, but we have a student visa license, and therefore a proportion of our students are always from international, and that's been the case for the last 50 years. This year, we anticipate our proportion of Vietnamese and Thai students to be around about 10% of the total students. So let's say 14 or 15 total students, Vietnamese and Thai students out of 150 total across the school.
Awesome, thank you. I've got another question from a student whose name I can't actually pronounce. So does Bales offer any foundation program?
We don't offer foundation programs. We offer GCSEs, a 1-year or a 2-year GCSE course across a range of subjects, which obviously prepares students for the foundation, and A-levels, either a 1-year finishing A-level program or a 2-year A-level program, which obviously prepares students directly for university entrance, which then avoids the initial foundation years at university.
Okay. And what makes Bales College different from other colleges, do you think?
I think from a college perspective, so we mix the best of both worlds, I think, in terms of having school-age children, as I say, from year 7, which is age 11-year-olds, up to year 13, which is 18, 19-year-olds. So you get an environment around campus which has a different feel to just the pure sixth form, pure college feel for sort of 16, 17, 18-year-olds. We're also slightly smaller than some of the bigger colleges. As I say, we're about 150 across the whole school at the moment, although we have plans to grow over the next few years and increase those numbers slightly. So we have it's a family type atmosphere. Everyone knows each other, and that means that you get more time, more focus from an individual perspective from the senior leadership team as well as from the individual teachers. So in terms of settling into London, I think we offer the family type approach. We can respond to any individual queries much more quickly than bigger places, perhaps. We're also in a sort of a tree-lined campus in central West London. So there's outside space, obviously, but also being located relatively close to central London. So we get, in a lot of ways, get the best of both worlds from that perspective. Obviously, we're not don't have a large campus like some of the out of London boarding schools, but then the central London ones, you don't get any outside space as well. So yeah, a few different points there, but I think the key overall point is being able to respond more quickly and more efficiently to individual student needs, whether that be international students or domestic students.
Okay, thank you for the answer for that question. So what are the entry requirements for the courses offered at Bales College then?
So we have a number of different entry points. For local students, our standard entry point is age 11, so the 11 plus exams. And we have admissions tests in maths, English, and verbal reasoning for those. If a student is coming from internationally, you can join at any time across year 7, which is 11-year-olds, right up to year 13, which is 17, 18-year-olds. So for international students, it depends on age. If you're under the age of 18, then we have obviously an application form, a school report from the last couple of years, or 2 school reports from the last 2 to 3 years with the transcripts translated to English, if necessary, and then a short informal interview on Zoom or Skype or something else appropriate if you're coming from internationally, or at the school if it's if you're an international student but you're moving within the UK. And if you're over the age of 18, then you also require an IELTS if you want a student visa. If you're under the age of 18, we don't require an IELTS, although and we can assist with any development of English that's required from non-native English speakers. So yes, it's a fairly simple process. Obviously, the application forms, the information for the visa, the transcripts from the last couple of years, an informal interview, and then if you're over the age of 18, an IELTS.
Okay, that's very simple and straightforward. But of course, if you need any help with, applying yourself to Bales College, then do reach out and we'll be of help. So do you offer any scholarship?
So for international students, we can offer a small level of scholarship, perhaps from 5% up to perhaps 25%, dependent on the student and the student's background educationally. So again, we would go from the transcripts, the school transcripts, and the informal interview in order to assess qualification for those scholarships.
Then that would bring us next to the next question, which is how high are the fees then?
So our fees are very competitive from a London independent school, independent college perspective. So for year 7 to year 9, so that's the junior school, 14,850 per year for domestic students, up to 15,750 for sixth form students. Our international fees are 16,500 per year. So 5,500 per term, 16,500 per year for international students.
That's awesome. And I think that will bring us to the last question that we actually have for today's section. I think this question is quite a good one. So how does Bales College prepare me for university?
I think in a number of ways, really. I mean, a lot of for a start, our day-to-day teaching in smaller groups at GCSE and A level, that prepares you for the tutorial type approach at university, assuming that your university course still does tutorials. Many still do. So our sixth form classes are anywhere from 6 students to 10 students per class. So you get a very intensive experience from that perspective. In terms of specifically, our head of sixth form holds the hand of every sixth former, well, indeed, anyone transitioning to university, whether that's via a foundation program or A levels. Our head of sixth form, Dr. Watkins, holds the hand, as I say, right from year 12 all the way through year 13. So that's choosing possible destinations, choosing possible courses, the mix of destinations, you know, if you're applying to UCL or King's, or what mix of universities you apply for. So you have a range, obviously, with your 5 choices, and then possibly a slight variation in courses. You might be doing biomedical sciences at one or biomedicine at the other. So talking you through all of that process. And as I say, you get as much one-to-one assistance as you require from Jennifer. She also helps you write your personal statement, which is a 1-page summary of yourself and what you want to do with your studies, your background educationally and academically, how you can contribute at university. So a sort of a sales pitch in terms from your own personal perspective. So she'll talk you through all of that, and you iterate that in terms of adjusting it over a few drafts. And then when you get the offers back through the UCAS process, Jennifer would then meet with you again and talk through which ones you might choose as your first choice, and then your backup. So yeah, right from the first process, the first day of year 12, if you join us in the sixth form, all the way up to results day in year 13, the senior leadership team, that's Dr. Watkins, Mr. Corkett and Mr. Yearsley, particularly Dr. Jennifer Watkins, would handhold you through that process. So that's the application. And then obviously educationally, preparing you for the transition, as I say, for our smaller group classes, is a more intensive academic experience than possibly you've come from in your home location with bigger class sizes. So that also prepares you from an academic level perspective in terms of transitioning there.
Thank you. And I think that's a wrap for today's session, actually. It's been lovely having you joining us with this live stream. And I think we'll have to do another one for our Vietnamese sort of like parents. So I think we'll do one where you sort of like giving out all this information, and I'll be translating them into Vietnamese for the parents as well. But it's been lovely having you. Thank you very much for these wonderful information. And yeah, so I'll look forward to do another one with you soon.
Thanks very much, Ivy. Yes, nice to be on the live stream, and thanks for the invitation.
Okay then, thank you. See ya. Bye.
Cheers.